Introduction to Cloud Computing, Microsoft Office Live Workspaces. I'll admit up front that I have a bit of a bias when it comes to Microsoft Office products. I use them all the time, and you can even take my CBT Nugget series on Microsoft Office 2003 or 2007. Just a little plug there for you. One element that really makes me giddy about this, though, is the live workspace that integrates into Office products. Whether it's Word, PowerPoint, Excel, or Outlook, you can create a workspace that is accessible anywhere in the world via the internet and a browser. You can store those documents and presentations you need out on the cloud, and that way you don't leave home without them. One caveat I will tell you at the beginning of this CBT Nugget. This is in beta format, so some of the things you might see in today's CBT Nugget have changed since the recording of this nugget. In this CBT Nugget, our object is to just give you a sneak preview of what you can do with Office Live Workspace. Number one, how you can access it not only from the internet but also within your Office products themselves, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Then how do you create a workspace, and how is that different than just the actual documents themselves? We'll show you how you can upload and download the documents from within an Office product like Word, and then we're going to show you how to share those workspaces out. So not only you as a user, but other users that you're working with can access those documents, make changes, and everyone can collaborate on them. Now, there are a couple different ways that you can get to the Office Live workspace on Microsoft. I'm going to show you a couple that you can use. Of course, the first one is to simply just open up your website and type in www.microsoft.com. And then once you're on the website, if you want to, you just under Office, all the products here that you have. One of them is Office Live, and so when you select that, what it'll do is bring you into the login screen that you can have access to, and it gives you some information about how you can access your documents from any computer. You can store up to 5 gigs for that. By the way, as of the recording of this CBT Nugget, it is still in beta format right now, so it might be faster there. And then, of course, all these things, and you just, to get started free, you just simply click on this. It's going to ask you for an email address that you have, and so let's say I'll pretend to be Jeremy. So if I'm Jeremy at mrcbtnuggets.com, and it's going to say, all right, this is where you're going to go in and sign in, and then you click next, and then you put in the password for Jeremy here. And do that real quick. You put in the first name, Jeremy Chara, country, secret question. I don't know where his mother's birthplace is, but I do know that name of his first pet. I probably shouldn't do this because we recommended that Jeremy get a dog, and I'm sure if you've heard his CBT Nuggets stories in the Cisco, you know all about the dog that I suggested that he get, and it is a Lhasa Apso. Ask him about his Lhasa Apso if you ever get a chance on email, and then of course they're just asking you for this, so that way it is no problem to get in. So BH2G, and I believe that's an HFWQ. Once you click finish, what it's going to do is it's going to tell you that, okay, we've created this account for you, and now when you go to your email box, it will then have the welcome message that will then basically say, yes, you can utilize Office Live Workspace. They just want to make sure people aren't just creating these, all over the place and not really utilizing them. So that's what's going on there. So that's one way to get in, and that's how you're going to probably sign up. But watch this. You don't only need to just go to the internet, because Office Live is part of the Office system. Office 2007 and even Office 2003 and XP documents can also be utilized in this environment, which is kind of cool. Now what you can do is you can go up to the Microsoft Office button up here, and look at this. Open from Office Live, or even save your documents directly to Office Live. So this is another way to get to the Office Live workspace. Real simple here. If I wanted to open up something, I simply come up here to sign into the Office Live workspace beta. It's going to say, all right, we need to add your .NET passport, so I can go in and do that. And we'll go ahead and use my existing email address. sign in with my Windows Live ID, which is going to be djwoody28@hotmail.com, and then put in my top secret password that are in there associated, and that way it'll automatically access it through any of your Office products. So your user account is now associated with the .NET password, and you're good to go. Remember, .NET passports are associated with Hotmail accounts. They can also be associated with the live.com and even your MSN place. So now what it's going to do is it says you already have my workspace at officelive.com. Where do you want to get your file from? So of course, if I say I want to get it from my personal workspace, you can double click on there and you can see any workspace documents, and you would be able to open them up and utilize them. So we'll go ahead and cancel, and let's create something here. Just going to say this is a test document. We will be using this on the Office Live workspace. I like how they capital it. It's like Office Live. You got to use that real announcer voice there. Okay, so this is a test document. We're obviously going to make this available to somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Office button, and I'm going to save to Office Live. Now I'm signed in under this one, this particular user. Now if I'm on a different computer, if I have a different username, and we're going to show you that in a second, you can sign out and sign in somebody else. So we're going to put it in to my personal workspace, and we'll call this the cool test file. Click Save, and now this is now going to be enabled on our Office Live workspace. And so now if I go back over here and I click Open from Office Live and I go to get it from my personal workspace, we can see that I have a couple of files in here. I've got my PMP exam tips that Jim Owens puts out, great little file, and then the cool test file. So I can click that and click Open, and then I'll be able to utilize that. So this shows you just how easy it is to utilize within Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint or anything like that. Okay, pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and cancel that. Close this out, and now let's go ahead and dive in and show you how, if you log in from the Office Live Workspace login, you can use any email address you want. You don't necessarily need to associate it with your .NET passport. All that does in the Office Live Workspace is make it integrate into your Office 2007 much more smoother. So let's go ahead and log in now with a different account, my MrCBTNuggets@gmail.com account. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into the Microsoft. We'll go the old-fashioned way here. Go to Microsoft.com, go to Office and Office Live. This is one way. Of course, it's also just www.officelive.com, but we can go ahead and just go right here. So I'm going to sign in. It's going to say, what is that? And we're going to say it's Mr. CBT Nuggets@gmail.com, and my top secret password to get in. Scroll down here, click Sign In, and now I'm opening up my Microsoft Office Live Workspace for Mr. CBT Nuggets. Now, of course, this is your workspace when you access it anywhere in the world that you have an internet connection. So that you can see why this is a very definitely a cloud computing type of environment. So you can collaborate on documents and see all these things. Now, of course, when you first get started, they give you the little kind of wizard that operates down here. Step 1, create separate workspaces. We'll show you how to do that. Step 2, add documents you want to add and share. Step 3 is to go ahead and share out who it is that you want to be able to utilize that. So that would be step 3. Right there. So let's create a new workspace. I already have one. This is really nifty. You can just do a blank workspace just for your regular documents, or they've got templated workspaces. How neat is that? If you have a class, like you've got a contact list, this is for like college students or high school or maybe even homeschool groups. Essay workspaces. Maybe you're working with a group on a term paper, a thesis, or I mean, it's got all these an event workspace, household workspace. You can even, if you're looking for a job, they've got a cover letter, prep notes, interview schedule, and these are all template documents that are part of Microsoft Office Live that's out there out on the internet, and you can use these at any time in place. School, workplace, sports team, study group, travel. I mean, you've got all kinds of nifty little things. So if you wanted to, let's go ahead and just scroll up here, and let's just say we want to do a household workspace. So we're going to create the workspace, and what it's going to do is say, what do you want to call this? And we'll just call this the Ward Household List. Okay? You can even put a description. This helps me be more organized, which is always a laugh. My wife would be laughing right here in the next room if she heard me say that. And then notice here you have different elements that are incorporated into your workspace here. So once you've done that, and you can create and you can add new documents that maybe you already have something like that. They have some videos that show you some step-by-step processes on some of that. You can add a different document to this. So let me go ahead and click on Add the Document. I can go out here and say, let me add the CBT Nuggets Cloud Computing Series. So I click Open, and now that is going to be added up there. So this one is now added to this. And notice it who is modified, and over here it gives you what is called your recent activity tab that shows you what you did. I created this workspace, new name on it, all those things. I can find my favorite workspaces to the favorite list. You can add share an option. So if I want to, I can come up here and I can say I can share the screen, make my screen visible to other people that are on this. This is cool. It's usually basically almost like a remote desktop feature. And then you can even share the workspace. So if I wanted to share this workspace with somebody, I just click that. And remember, one of them was my DJ Woody, if I spell it right, 28 at hotmail.com. Check out my household page. So I could go ahead and then by the way, you can let everyone view this the workspace without signing in, or do you want to send me a copy of what you just emailed? You can do that. We'll just keep it this way, sending that shared email invitation. So essentially what we've done is the 3 easy steps for the workspace that you see down here. And so, no matter what you're thinking about when it comes to utilizing this workspace, it's, again, just a place where you can bring your documents, come up here, and start using them. So I'm going to close. Up here is where you close this little open window. Then I'm going to scroll back up here and see some of these particular things. See, this is a contact, which will be used with your Outlook. And you can also put it in Excel. You have a grocery list here, which is kind of nice. You got a household event list that you can use, even to-do lists. And notice these are similar to things that you've used in your Office 2007 products. And so again, this is a great place. Now, what we're going to do though is that I've got my CBT Nuggets fan page here. This is a different workspace. This is a different workspace. And let me go ahead and click down here and scroll over and get rid of this so we're not seeing that. Get a little bit more view here. And so now we've got my my CBT Nuggets fan page, which is one workspace. Then notice over here it shows that the ones that are shared, this one has not been shared yet. CBT Nuggets is owned by me. It has not been shared. The Ward household list, on the other hand, has been shared. You can see that by the little icon right there. So you can look through all of your different workspaces. You can even check out just your document list, any documents that you have. This is one that you just, I call this a catch-all. These are going to be more of your workspaces. This is kind of where you can just save your documents and have access to them at any point in time. So I've created these two. So now this is what I'm going to do. Now remember, I went ahead and logged into this, into the documents I have, and I want to show you something. I'm going to go ahead and click on this tab, and I'm going to go ahead and go to my Gmail, and go to Mr. CBT Nuggets and show you something here. So let's go Mr. CBT Nuggets. Top secret password, if I can spell it right. Now think about this. Up until now, everything I've done on my Mr. CBT Nuggets space, or I showed you how you can sign in and create your other one. Well, check this out. Beforehand, I actually have my DJ Woody one has shared a personal workspace with me. So if I click on this, I can go ahead and let's display these images here. Yes, I want to display the non-secure ones, and we go down here, and it says, I have shared a personal workspace with Mr. CBT Nuggets. So to view it, you simply click on View, and guess what? It brings you right in to this same one. Now, check this out, okay? I've got my CBT Nuggets fan page, I've got my Word household, but now this is called Personal Workspace. This is the one that's shared with me. Notice it right down here. Personal Workspace is shared with me. And so now I can come in here and see any one of these files and actually start utilizing them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the cool test file. This is a Word. Now I can start doing some edits and doing some fun stuff right here if I need to, or you can actually edit it in Microsoft Word. I can check the versioning options that I have. I can actually say you can add a new document version to this. You can save to a version history. And so the nice thing is, instead of sending an email copy to everybody and then have them change it, I can open up this workspace, and now everyone can come in and start editing and working on this particular document, and I don't have to worry because I'll have versioning on, and that way I'll know who made the changes and what's gone, what's happening. I can check out the activity that's on this, and I can even close this document. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and edit this in Microsoft Office Word. Now when I click on this, it's going to tell me, guess what? You're bringing this onto your desktop or into your computer system. It's no longer out here in your safe Office Live workspace. It's going to be now edited on your local machine. So you have to say OK to that. And once you do that, it's going to open up Microsoft Office Word. And guess what's going to happen? Hey, look at that. Here is the cool test file that we created in our DJ Woody 28, and we saved, right? And so you can come out here and say, now we're adding some more information here. And then maybe even come up here and highlight this and change the font to something weird like Algerian. Okay, so now we've done that, right? So now what I can do is go ahead and save it to Office Live. Now look at where I can save it. I can save it to my workspace because I'm in here, or to any shared workspaces. I click on Personal Workspace, and now it's going to come in and say, this is the cool test file.doc. I've got that. Now when I click Save, look at this. It now is getting a list of all the available content types, and bada bing, bada boom. It's now out there on that particular area. Now here's the nice thing that we can do here. So if I come over here to my Office button, and I want to open from an Office Live, I can do it this. I can also sign out. So I'm going to sign out of Mr. CBT Nuggets. Come back over here, open, and sign in. Now when I sign in, it's going to say, now who do you want to sign in as? Remember, I can use Mr. CBT Nuggets, or I can use something different. In this case, I'm going to do DJ Woody 28 at hotmail.com. Put in my top secret password. Click OK. And now what it's going to happen is it's going to allow me to find the different places that I have available to me. Remember, our workplaces. And there's my personal workspace, so I can double click on that. And you can check out the workspace documents, and there it is. So if I go ahead and click open on this, watch what happens. Boom, we're there. There is my test document. How my added information. See how much easier it is to have something in one particular space. And I don't need to keep bopping back and forth between computers or make sure that I email it or send it out. So Microsoft Office Live is one cool product. So we had some fun taking a look at Office Live Workspace. Again, remember this is in beta at the time of this recording, so your mileage may vary when you get there, but the access options are pretty much going to be similar. You can either go through the internet, through an internet browser like IE, and come into the Live Workspace that way and utilize it. You can also, of course, come through one of the Office products, Office 2007 and or Office 2003 and XP also have that options through the Live Workspace plugin. Then once we got there, we created a workspace that we can utilize for anything from document sharing to PowerPoint presentations to just about anything you can think of. You can then begin to upload and download those documents in order to then share out that workspace so people can then start collaborating on them. They can add their thoughts and processes and make changes. And remember, you have versioning capabilities. You have a lot of power at your fingertips utilizing this live workspace out there on the cloud. I hope you enjoyed the training today, and I'd like to thank you for joining us.